Hey guys, welcome to Contest Prep University. I am Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We're going to head into the guys divisions in our big meta series, Peak Week. So Peak Week for men's physique. I was just thinking, Adam, my first question to you was going to be talking about the evolution of the sport. This particular episode is about the division criteria. And I still remember when Steve Cook hired me for what was the precursor to men's physique. I think the IFBB had just done this kind of a model search type thing. And he and a friend of his both hired me, and they had this nice friendly rivalry. And I'm like, first of all, you dudes are just both way too big and shredded. Like Steve came in at about 200 pounds for that particular contest. And, but he had this great fullness, he had the shoulders, he had just great symmetry, abs, really lean. His friend, I believe his name was Scott, was really, really shredded, just a little bit more angular, a little bit more ectomorphic. And I just kind of thought that these guys were almost, they should be in the bodybuilding category. But then with 75 guys in his class alone, Steve Cook won the whole thing and now has become this, super famous model and men's physique kind of ambassador. So I'm just curious, because that's been at least 15 years ago, maybe just a little bit less, maybe 10, 12, somewhere in that range. How has the division evolved since then? What are judges looking for today?
Yeah, they're getting bigger today. Some of these guys are pushing classic physique type upper bodies. And, that's just normal evolution. When you're playing golf, for instance, you want to hit a longer drive the next time you're out there. So as much as we do want to corner this stuff into a criteria, I think sometimes there's just a time where we may need to promote a new division if we want to go back to that smaller stature. It's not really fair to, change everything all of a sudden for people who have put, mass amounts of muscle on their upper body. But definitely a great division. One of my favorite things about men's physique, which is what distracts it from a lot of people, is when you really are judging, for the most part, just the upper body. It really is that fine tune on size, conditioning, symmetry. So with a narrower window of judging criteria, it definitely takes a good eye to dial one of these guys in and bring them in perfectly.
You mentioned the upper body, and I don't know if it was us last time, but I remember having a conversation recently with somebody saying, there is kind of a movement toward, inching those, the seams of the shorts up a little bit, so you can start kind of sneaking in a little vastus medialis, or, and so at least you get kind of the illusion of how your legs look and a little bit more balance, and maybe even a little bit more of a tightening. Like the board shorts used to be these massive, shorts that take up the whole, visual field, but now they're getting a little more slender, narrower cut, so you can at least see the shape of the glutes and so forth. Is that making a change?
So I think that just short styles have came into play now, but I don't think it's so much as showing the leg. There are people that will say that, but when you start comparing the short size to like the upper body, if you have really large trunks on, it can start making your back look smaller. Or you're only going to be as big to the next biggest thing next to you. So if your shorts aren't tailored, so I would say having them tailored and a little tighter to the legs has become more important now, where when people first started doing this, they just bought the first thing off the rack at Walmart or Target, to be quite honest. So that has evolved quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. So in general, just the overall advice for the criteria, if you're saying, okay, here, client who just hired me, you're kind of contemplating different divisions. If you want to do men's physique and do well, we just have to have that great massive X frame. You still have to have the shoulders and the chest and so forth. And you got to be as tight as ever. It's not that, okay, we're putting these big shorts on you so you don't have to get as lean. I mean, just to get the abs and obliques and so forth, the low back as sharp as they need to be, there's really no difference, is there? You're still going for just as tight as anybody would be in bodybuilding, and really just as big.
Pretty much. I mean, a lot of my top tier pros in men's physique have shredded glutes, by the time they're on stage. And I'll actually look at that at times, can we dip down lower if your glutes aren't shredded, even though you're not judged on them? Let's keep digging.
Mhm. All right, man. Well, I appreciate that. Good advice. And guys, stay tuned. We're going to go through another 4 episodes digging into all of not just the criteria, but how to manage your actual peak week. So stick around. And next time we're going to talk about those options.